might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
For your materials, you are going to need some flavoring, some mason jars to put your solution in, some colors, clothespins and sticks to roll your sugar in, 3 cups of sugar, and 1 cup of water in a pot.
Feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
So, in this experiment, I used 3 cups of sugar, and as you can see here, I'm measuring it with a 1/2 cup measuring cup because it was just easier to get an exact measurement. So, as you can see, I'm leveling off the top, making sure it's super exact, because if you oversaturate the sugar in the water, your rock candy won't grow. And so what's going to happen is it's going to boil together and make a completely saturated solution, and then when it gets poured into the jars, the sugar will separate from the water and crystallize into crystals that will then attach onto the stick. So it's super important that you get the right amount of sugar with the right amount of water so that it doesn't oversaturate and not form or completely separate into 2 separate things like it separates into the sugar and the water. And as you can see here, I added an extra cup of water, or an extra cup of sugar, excuse me. And so when I did that, I had to figure out how much water goes into it to compensate for the extra sugar that I added. So this is where I had to add my extra water, and as you can see, I measured it out and figured out how much the ratio to sugar to water, and so I had to add 8 tablespoons of water to my solution in order to make it the right ratio of 3 to 1.
What you wanna do? Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high to bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without.
So while your sugar water is sitting on the stove boiling, you're going to get any amount of sugar. I don't think it really matters. I used 2 tablespoons, which is way too much. And you're just going to put it on something that's easy to roll. And so this is like a cutting board that's kind of like bent in the middle. So it's super easy to roll the sticks in. And then you are going to rinse the sticks under some water. I'm so sorry for my dirty dishes. And just make them kind of wet so that the sugar will stick to them. And then you're going to roll them in the sugar. And so I had the problem of I didn't let it dry long enough. So you're really supposed to leave these sticks out overnight so the sugar is super dry and able to crystallize like immediately upon being put in the jar. But I didn't have time to do this, so I actually put them in the oven at a very low heat at 170 for about 30 minutes, and that dried them out well enough to work.
Would just stand and stare. I'd like to make
And now you're just gonna watch it boil until it shows up as a clear solution.
slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. 'Cause I get 1,000 hugs from 10,000 lightning bugs,
we're going to be adding some flavors. As you can see, I chose raspberry. I used a pure raspberry extract. Worked super well. It kind of foamed, not really sure why. Still tasted divine.
It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems.
Don't forget to shut off your stove. I've been boiling it at a high heat for probably about 10 minutes.
Like such an insomniac, please take me away from here. Why do I tire of counting sheep? Please take me away from here. When I'm far too tired to fall asleep.
Now I'm going to be adding the blue to my blue raspberry. I used the gel food coloring. It seemed to work as well as a liquid food coloring would have.
But I'll know where several are if my dreams get real bizarre, 'cause I saved a few and I keep them in a jar. I like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. I like to make
After your sticks have completely dried, go ahead and put them right into the solution and watch your crystals form.
It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, because my dreams are bursting at the seams.
You can take out your rock candy whenever you feel like it's ready. Mine was getting pretty thick and seemed like it had stuck to the bottom, so I was ready to take it out. You have to break the top of it with a knife because it crystallizes all along the top, and then pull it out. I ended up doing 3 different candies, but 2 of them actually solidified together. My candy got stuck to the bottom because the crystals formed really big. Not really sure why it did that, but it looks really cool and it tasted really good.
Just feel that beat and sing it. I don't know what you've been told, but music make you lose control. Sing, 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 sing it out as hard as you can. Make 'em hear from LA to Japan. Don't let 'em bring it down. This is how we do it now. Go rolling windows down. Sing, 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 sing it with your hands in the sky. Light it up.
My final candies.
It doesn't matter if you're way off track.
So I did this experiment twice before this, and these are the results. This was my first solution, and I accidentally used too much water and not enough sugar. This one had too much sugar and not enough water. And as you can see, the two completely separated and nothing formed on the stick. I chose to do 2 flavors, and neither one of them worked. The blue one, actually, I used too much water and nothing ended up forming on the stick, and I didn't let the sugar dry. This one, as you can see, used way too much sugar, and yeah.
Sing, sing,